Hi there, everyone. Your Power Al here with another vlog. So I just came back from the movie theater because I finished watching the fourth My Hero Academia movie. It's called You're Next. It came out yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to watch it, so today was the day. And I find it funny that I watched it today because the end of season 7 also came out today, but I could talk about that later. I'm going to be talking about the movie, which does make sense to talk about it at this point because the movie does take place in between events in the 7th season. I want to say like it takes place like probably about like a quarter of the way through season 7, so yeah, this is probably the best time to talk about the movie. But yeah. I really enjoyed the movie for one. I don't think it's the best My Hero Academia movie. That would probably still be the second one, but this one, I mean, it was a very enjoyable watch. The main focus of this movie is there is this All Might fanboy who idolizes really only the strength of All Might and nothing else. Kind of reminds me about like how there are people that only idolize certain Dragon Ball Z characters only because of how strong they are, like Goku, Vegeta, or like they'll tear down Gohan because he's not as strong as he used to be or whatever. Not counting like beast form, but like that was a thing that was going on like in the past. But yeah, it's about a character who idolizes just one aspect of All Might and takes that fanboyism to the extreme. He starts to emulate just that one part without really realizing why All Might is a beloved person, and he tries to become the next All Might, the next symbol of peace. He calls himself Dark Might, which I think is dumb, but yeah, he like even like models like his looks after him. He gets like I assume plastic surgery to look like him or whatever. This guy Dark Might, he's like the head of this mafia from Europe, which I guess is interesting. They don't really go into much detail there, but like they're like the biggest like crime syndicate in Europe or something. So yeah. Uh there's a character, his name is Julio? Giuliano? Julio? I think it's Julio. I already forgot. Who is looking for this girl that Dark Might and his gang have captured named Anna. Anna. Um, because Anna has a quirk that could modify and enhance quirks around her. So Dark Might, who has a quirk that it's called alchemy, which she can basically do anything with as long as he has like gold coins with him. Essentially, he uses that to make himself like super strong and whatnot to be as strong as All Might. And Julio is looking for Anna. Also, there's a scene like early on where Julio he's riding a red motorcycle in like a ruined city, and it instantly brought to mind Yusei Fudo riding his dual runner in Satellite in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. So that was like the first thing I thought. But if yeah, if Anna is compatible with a person, they don't really like state like what makes a person compatible with her quirk, but like their quirk gets enhanced. And Julio, his he had a quirk that he uses like his right hand with, which has since been like destroyed and replaced with like a robot prosthetic that neutralizes her quirk very conveniently. And the whole point is to rescue Anna from Dark Might. And Dark Might uses his powers to make this giant fortress that can float or whatever. He kidnaps a bunch of people, including pretty much everyone from Class A. And there is a minor exception, but that is because I think this movie takes place after like the first few episodes of season 7 that involve this character. I'll talk about that more, but yeah. So everyone in Class A, like they're at first like split up into different groups. But they work their way inside this fortress, which has like different biomes inside it, and eventually, everyone in Class A ends up taking down Dark Might's like henchmen, people from his syndicate who have had their quirks enhanced. This actually is interesting because they give Tokoyami a chance to shine on his own, which I would say he's probably like the fourth strongest character out of Class A, probably, just in terms of like raw strength. I mean, like the top being like the three that are always Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. But the rest of Class A, they spend their time basically evacuating all of the citizens that were captured in this fortress. Buff Lucas shows up at some point to help the citizens escape. So that's fun. And yeah, after a lot of fighting, you say run place at some point, which is like how you know the movie is hitting its climax. Shoto, Todoroki, I don't know why I called him Shoto. Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku end up fighting Dark Might. And then, at first, it seems like they've beaten Dark Might, but then Anna's quirk ends up overpowering him to the point where like he becomes like this huge kaiju-sized person, and like in the middle of the fight, Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki are saying like, you don't really envision, or you don't really represent what like All Might is, blah blah blah, but we can do that. And then they beat him up, and then Julio, he ends up getting his quirk enhanced, since like it only works with his right arm, which he doesn't have anymore. So now like he can, I guess, use the rest of his body to neutralize Anna's quirk and just make her a normal person. And then yeah, she is saved from having her quirk destroy everything and killing her in the process. Because if she uses her quirk too much without it being neutralized, that causes her to have seizures, and it's assumed that she'll like die from it, but that doesn't happen. They end up just walking off in the sunset together, and then the movie ends. That's like a very bare bones recap of the plot of the movie, but it was still very enjoyable to watch. Animation was on point, especially during the climax. I mean, we get to see the core three, as I'm gonna call them, just do super cool stuff that looks really awesome. Especially like Deku just going like full on, just overpowered nonsense. And it is neat that Bakugo is someone that calls out Dark Might for only admiring his power, because that is like something that Bakugo did in the past, like before his character development. Like he realizes it's not always about like having the strength to like win, but like there's more to All Might than that. So I'm glad that Bakugo got to call out Dark Might on that. And it's just nice that Dark Might is like this foil to Deku, where like they are both All Might fanboys, but for very different reasons. And I mean, All Might, even like early on in the movie, he's like, "Hey, Dark Might, you're dumb. You're misunderstanding the whole thing." But then he just completely like ignores it, because Dark Might is, again, only obsessed with like the strength aspect of All Might when there is more to him than that. But overall, a fun movie. I don't know if there's going to be any more movies in My Hero Academia, considering the series is, there's only one more season left after season 7. So I don't know what they're going to do from there. And I don't know like how the series ends, so I don't know if like anything after season 7 would lend itself well to having a movie inserted somewhere in there. But yeah, fun movie. Probably it's either, I would say it's probably my third favorite My Hero Academia movie. I mean, the second one just leagues above the others. And the third one, I think, is honestly my least favorite My Hero Academia movie, which is say, like, it's not bad, but it's not as good as the other ones. The first one was pretty good too. But yeah. Yeah. And there is a post-credit scene, but really it's just like before major events in season 7, so like it really has no bearing on anything if you've watched season 7 already. But yeah, that's really gonna be it. If any of you have seen the movie, feel free to talk about it. Try to keep spoilers about like season 7 to a minimum, or like past that, because I don't know what happens after season 7. So yeah. Anyways, I am gonna end it off here. Eventually, probably like in the next few days or so, I will do a recap on season 7, just because I really did enjoy it. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for another vlog. Later.